Liars I have met in law enforcement are these people. What's up, everyone? It's Nylan, and I've been putting this video off for a long time, and it's past time that I want to share with you the biggest liars that I have met working in corrections and also working in law enforcement now for about 5 years. And it's interesting that it's not the inmates, it's not the criminals, it's not the everyday civilians that are the biggest liars when it comes to law enforcement. The biggest liars in law enforcement are the officers. The biggest liars in the DOC, Department of Corrections, is the officers. I'm not saying they're corrupt, but what I am saying is that we have to go day to day, hour to hour, from call to call, dealing with everyone else's crisis, and we have to be okay. We have to be good. We have to go from dealing with CPR in progress to go handling a domestic, and in that time, there is no time to mentally decompress and actually take a moment to think about what the hell just happened as you were down there on the ground doing CPR, watching someone die in front of you. And then from there, you get up and you go handle a domestic where the girlfriend stabs her boyfriend in the stomach with a kitchen knife. But we're good. I'm good. Bullshit. There are so many of us, and I'm guilty of this as well. I'm right there with everyone else that walks around saying, I'm good. Just dealt with a head-on collision where one person's dead, potentially two. The one person, their body is not supposed to be shaped like that. That's not how the human body was designed. But we're pulling them out of the car to get them into an ambulance to, hey, maybe they'll live, maybe not, but I'm good. Officers are the biggest liars. And again, it's not because they're corrupt. It's not because they want to be, per se. It's because they feel like they have to be. Because we show up to other people's crisis when other people are having their worst moments. We are there to be the calm. We are there to be the peacemakers. And we have to be good. We have to be professional. We have to be at our best. But at the end of the day, the question is, what are we doing to help ourselves or help each other through those moments, through those times, to deal with that? And if I'm being honest, there's a whole lot of nothing happening. And this is where I feel like I can help. This is where I feel like a lot of us can help, is start calling people out. When people say, I'm good, after they dealt with an ATV crash and someone died, and they say, hey, you're good? I call bullshit. Let's call people out and let's get to the bottom, and let's get help for our officers that are dealing with shit day to day, hour to hour, and walking around like they're okay. There's so many men and women, but mostly men that I work with, that they'll talk a big game about, oh, you've never dealt with death before, blah, blah, blah. Come on. It might not affect you a lot like it used to when you started, but I don't think a death or a violent situation, it impacts you. It impacts each and every one of us in one way or another. So, if you're in law enforcement, or if you're a first responder, EMS, firefighter, and you've been lying to yourself, lying to others, saying that you're good when deep down you know you're not, it's time to do something. It's time to get help. I'm not saying therapy is what you need. I'm not saying counseling, but you need someone to talk to. You need a system to get you help, to help process the thoughts, to help process the frustration, the anger, irritation that comes from dealing with this, especially when it's situations that could have been avoided. Drinking and driving, a death drinking and driving. Domestics where, hey, someone just would have walked away. That female went and got beat up. That male went and got stabbed with that kitchen knife. Just had to walk away. But remember, we're good. And I call bullshit. So if you're in law enforcement, if you're an EMS, first responder, I'm calling you out right now. Because I've been there. And as much as you want to say you're good, as much as you want to believe you're good, deep down, that shit affects you. Because you remember it. You can go back and recall it. You can go back and think about what was happening. The smells, the sights. You remember that shit. So, what are you doing? How are you getting help? Again, I'm not saying therapy is needed. I'm not saying consulting or counseling is needed. But some coaching might help. Speaking with someone that has a system of talking through the emotions and getting the anger, the frustration, the irritation out, the sadness, whatever that emotion, those emotions may be. We need to understand them. We need to experience them, truly experience them, feel them, to allow them to relieve ourselves and to heal ourselves. And more importantly, learn from that situation. Learn how to deal with the next situation in a more positive way, in a more quick way, allowing us to handle the situation and be able to move on. So men and women, I should say, men and women, if you're in law enforcement, you're a first responder of some sort, and you're walking around saying, I'm good, I'm going to question you. I'm going to call you out and see what that actually means. Some of you might actually be good. Might not be feeling anything. You may just be suppressing it really well, like a lot of us. But there's situations, there's times when we have to be honest and say, I'm not okay. I'm not good. I need to talk this out. I need to have a plan to get rid of these thoughts that are going through my head, replaying this situation over and over, trying to figure out what I could have done better, how I could have prevented this situation. Men and women, you are important. You are needed. We need you to be good. We need you to be at your best. But if you're suppressing, if you're hiding, you're not at your best. No matter how much you say, there's no faking it till you make it. So, this is you. I encourage you to reach out. Reach out to somebody in your department, buddies, people that aren't in law enforcement, people that are in law enforcement. Reach out to me. You are needed. You've been called to serve, and you have chosen to serve. And I want you to be your best. But you can't be your best when you're suppressing, when you're hiding the emotions, the anger, the frustration, the irritation that comes with dealing with all the shit that you and I deal with. We need to have a plan. We need to have a system that we can utilize to allow ourselves to decompress, to understand what's going on in our head and in our heart, and to use that to grow, to expand. It's possible. It's possible for you to actually use what situations you've been given to learn and grow. But it does not come through hiding and suppressing your emotions. It does not come from walking around lying and saying you're good when deep down you know you're not. It doesn't come through turning to alcohol or narcotics or porn or any other form of addiction to continue to hide. Worst yet, not just lying about being good and doing your job, is going home to your family and saying you're good. There's too many families that are ruined because we say we're good and we don't deal with what's going on in our head, what's going on with our heart. And I've seen too many people that almost wear divorce as a badge. I've been married 2 times, 3 times now. Pretty soon 4. Like, really? That's something you're proud of? Come on. Again, let's stop lying. Let's start being honest. Let's start dealing with the shit that we have to deal with in a way that actually moves us forward and allows us to be healthy physically and mentally, allows us to have healthy, positive, growing relationships with our spouses, with our kids, and allows us to actually be the respectable members of our society that we're called to be. That at one point, our society saw us. We need to get back there. So, again, stop hiding. If you need to talk to somebody, talk to somebody. I don't care who it is. If you don't have anybody, you have me. Reach out, message, and let's have a conversation. Because you're worth it. You've been called. You've accepted that calling. And now let's make the most of it. Until next time, I love you and God bless.